Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome to this week's altcoin update. First and foremost, remember, nothing discussed today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is for educational purposes only. And now that's out of the way, let's jump in. So this week's requests, we're looking at some Dino coins by the looks of it. We're looking at XRP, Litecoin, and TRX. So yeah, let's just jump in. So obviously, we'll start with XRP. Now, XRP, as we know, I don't understand the fascination with XRP because it was one of the coins that never made a new all-time high when most other coins did. It's just people seem to cling on to this, and anyone that's been around the space for a long time seems to hold on to it for some reason. Yeah, we're sideways. We have had a decent trend, and then we followed it off, this on the daily, by the way, with a downtrend. Now, this is something we have been trading because we've had a nice downward sloping channel, which within the group, anyone that's within the Spitfire traders community knows that we've been trading this. And now, after grinding up against the edge of the channel, we've started to break up from the channel. Now, is this a breakout and new all-time highs? No, because we're still range bound overall. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's just have a quick look. Very simple. Range lows, range highs, and we're range bound. So, where we are right now, is this a place I'd be looking to long? Well, no, because what's your risk to reward? Well, your risk is going to be down here. Let's be honest. If this is going to be a case and you're going to plan on taking this position, what you're going to use this pivot low, and what you're aiming for? You're aiming for the range high. Well, that's not even a 1-to-1 risk to reward, so it's kind of pointless, is that, in my opinion. So where we are right now is no man's land. We are coming up into a sticky zone. So we can see here, if we just throw on a volume profile, I've mentioned this previously, obviously some people will call this a supply zone. You know, if you're a supply and demand style trader, you know, you might call this an order block up here. But either way, we're coming up into a sticky zone. That's all we need to know. So we're coming up, and what we're trying to do right now is get back with inside this mini range. Okay? So within this mini range, we need to be aware that we've got the point of control here, which is effectively slightly above where price action is right now. Have we got any other confluence in this region? Let's do a fib pull from the high to the low. Not the range fib, let's do it on the fib retracement. And we can see that we've also got the golden pocket within this region here. So obviously we've got the golden pocket in, we've got this sticky zone, you know, order block, whatever you want to call it. So we're coming up into local resistance right now. Okay, so first and foremost, if we do continue higher and we get up here, do we get a reaction? Do we get a change in market structure on a lower time frame? Well, you got a trigger then for a short. And if you are looking at shorts in this region, if it does give a nice reaction, then first and foremost, you'll be looking at this value area high. Does it get back within value? Or does it get a nice rejection of value? If it gets a rejection of value, then we can trade it back up straight away back into this sticky zone here. Again, these are low time frame ideas. If you do get a decent reaction and it comes back and it gets accepted back into value, well, then you can be looking to grab the liquidity from these lows and likely these lows as well. So looking around this EQ zone. Okay, if that EQ zone doesn't produce anything and a sign of strength, then you'd be letting it roll over, coming back down, looking at that point of control once again. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking at with this. What if it goes to the upside? Well, if it goes to the upside and it gets through this sticky zone, and first and foremost, we've got to be aware of the range highs. So obviously the range highs have done once, twice, 3, 4 rejections. So if we come back up again, do we get another rejection at this level, or does it finally get the breakout? Now, as usual, first and foremost, it's not something I would trade. I won't be trading a breakout if it does get up here. First and foremost, I'll be looking at this high here, so grabbing the liquidity from just above here, all the stop losses that are up here, including mine, well, my original stop before I moved it to entry after take profits, then you could potentially look at grabbing that liquidity, coming back down. Okay, so that's first and foremost. If it doesn't get that, and we do take it out and continue up, then we'll be looking once again, this looking on the daily chart, we're going to move this onto the weekly now. Realistically, your next major resistance zone is going to be this last little consolidation before the ultimate breakdown again. Okay, so you'll be looking back up here. Does it get back into value, which is around 70 cents? If it gets back into value, then we're going to be looking higher towards the point of control, 77 cents. And if it does get higher than that, then you'd be looking up at the value area high / looking up at your overall highs for a liquidity grab. Okay, level to level. You know, is this something you're holding on and hoping for the moon? Well, it didn't make a moon in the last cycle, so why are you expecting it to make a moon in this cycle? Okay, there's plenty of other coins with a hell of a lot more strength than what XRP shows. Okay, the only reason why, again, is just people have this weird nostalgic love relationship with XRP. Okay, XRP is a great coin to trade if you trade in the range, because it effectively has been range bound for years now. Okay, so it's XRP. So obviously that's to the upside, that's to the downside. Litecoin next. We've seen a heck of a lot of trades on Twitter with Litecoin, and again, yeah, a range bound. You know, it started to move again, but once again, Litecoin, another example, failed to make a new all-time high, very similar to XRP. Again, another one of the dinosaur coins, very good for a range-bound environment, okay? So what do I mean by that? Well, we can see here, let's have a look. You can see here that we've got a nice range. So we've got the lows. In fact, I'm going to treat these as the lows. And then the highs, effectively, are going to be these. And there we go, we've got a range-bound environment. So we've got here, you can see here, we broke into the range, tried getting back out of it, broke down, EQ, low, deviation of the lows, back test, another test, EQ, highs. Okay, so once again, we're range bound. Right, now we can throw on a volume profile to give us a better idea where all the volume's at, and we can see here. I mean, to be fair, you don't even need a volume profile on this because you can see it clear as day. So obviously we've got this large volume profile here, okay? High volume nodes, okay, which is referencing this sticky zone that we're in right now. Now, you could even treat this as two separate ranges. You could treat this as below the EQ is one range, so that's one range, and above the EQ is another range, okay? So that's how you can trade this. Obviously, if you want to break it down to a lower time frame, if you were trading the high time frame, then you'd be looking at the lows and the highs. Quite simply, long the lows, short the highs. Eventually, one side will give way, and that one side you will take a loss. But because you've been trading the range, then that loss will be irrelevant because you'll make more money in the ones that you got right. Okay? So, where we are now. Okay, if we continue up, okay, then first and foremost, we've got to pay attention to the top of the range. Now, looking at the top of the range, we've got a tag here, got another tag here, which is a swing failure pattern of this high. Then we came back down, then we've come back up, and we've tapped it once again. Now, this tap never took out the liquidity of this. So what we can assume is that we've got liquidity above these highs. Okay? So, if we do come back up to the range highs, then ideally, I wouldn't want to see a straightforward tag and then rejection. If we get that, and you get a low time frame market structure change, then fair enough. But I like to see something different, especially when you've got effectively equal highs, okay? So what does that mean for me? Well, that means ideally, I'd want it to come up, grab the liquidity, then come back down, get back inside the range, and just continue the range, okay? If you don't get this, if you don't get this liquidity grab, then back inside, wait for that back test, then you've got your short trigger. If you don't get that, then we look higher. And if we look higher, well, it's quite simple. Then we're looking back into, similar to XRP, back into this consolidation here. Okay, so we can see here, this is its own standalone consolidation. Okay, we can see here, point of control. We've already tagged it once. Kind of tagged it again, but slightly short here. So if we do get back above here, then we can look at trading this old range. Okay, so we've got well-respected levels back here. Okay, if it goes higher than that, if it gets outside of this value, then you've got highs to contend with. Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. There's a lot of liquidity up there. Okay, so obviously that's to the upside. To the downside. Okay, well, if it does start to roll over, if it does start to roll over here, then first and foremost, got liquidity here, which comes into the value area high. So does it grab this liquidity, change your market structure, low time frame, and you continue trading this part of the range? Or what would be a preference, in my opinion, would be to come back down to the Q grab that liquidity from these lows, reclaim the EQ, and again, like I said, trading the bottom half of the range and the top half of the range. Okay, if you don't see this and it just continues to roll over, then let it roll over. If it does roll over, then we've got a bit of a drop on our hands. Okay, so at least these lows here. Okay, so that's very simple. We are range bound. Okay, so for me right here, I wouldn't be longing because you're longing straight into a potential liquidity grab of these highs. Would I be shorting here if it showed me something on low time frame? Perhaps, but I'm way more interested in the extremities of this range because that's where the better setups are. Okay, the higher time frame swing ideas. Okay, so that's Litecoin. And finally, TRX or Tron. So a look. Again, another Dino coin. Yeah, same situation. Same situation. Again, you know, these Dino coins are great for range-bound environments. So what can we see here? Well, draw range on here. Realistically, would we use this eye? Yeah, we'd use this eye. Okay, so what we can see here is we broke into this range, tagged it. It didn't know, obviously, it would form a range at this point. Come down, low, low, EQ, high, EQ, high, low, EQ, low. Again, perfect range-bound environment. It's great. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Let's see where we are. This is very high time frame. Obviously, this is the daily chart, but this is going back to May 21. So this is a couple of years old. Okay. So where are we looking on this? Where are the major support and resistance levels? Well, it's pretty obvious there. You can see above us, we've got value area high and EQ. Okay. So that needs to be considered resistance for now. Okay. Until proven otherwise. So if we do come up here, potentially grab this liquidity, come back down, change your market structure, you got a short trigger. Okay, if you don't end up grabbing that liquidity and you just come straight up into it, low time frame, change your market structure, you got another short trigger. And again, very similar to Litecoin, you could trade this as one range and trade this as one range. Okay, you can see that all the volume is in the bottom half of the range. Okay, so this part of the range is a lot thinner. There's still volume there. We can see here from the volume profile, still volume there, but it's a bit thinner. So it potentially can move that through that a little bit faster. Okay, so if you don't get this, and it comes up and it does just continue up and it ignores these highs here, then again, we're just looking to trade this range. So we can see here from the volume profile, we've got a sticky zone here, which is around 10 cents, call it, for easy numbers, around there. If you get above that and you continue up, then you've got range highs. If you've got range highs, you're looking for shorts, okay, or take profits on your longs. Okay, very simple level to level. What if it rolls over? Well, if it rolls over, I'd be looking to come back down to that EQ. Not EQ, sorry, point of control, that's what I meant to say. If that point of control offers nothing, then back down towards the value area low. We've got liquidity down here, which we could sweep or change your market structure. But once again, as usual, I'd prefer the outer bounds of the range. So for me, I would much rather see something like this than show me some strength. Again, I want to see that strength. I want to see those stops run. So we've got stops here, stops there, stops there, stops there. So I prefer to see those stops run, then give me the sign of strength to get back into that range, reclaim, change market structure, then I'll be looking for long. Okay, if you get that long there, first and foremost, do we get back into value? Yes or no? Yes, cool. Do we get above point of control? Yes, no, yes. And we're just trading this range, okay? Got a large range there to trade, okay? Very simple, just level to level on this. There's nothing complex. You don't need complicated TA when you're trading these high time frames on these old dinosaur coins, okay? If it runs up, we've got resistance locally, okay? If it gets higher than that, we're looking at range highs. If it comes down, we've got point of control locally. If it goes lower than that, value area low or range low. Again, preference would be on the range low for a better higher time frame play. Okay, obviously, if you want to know how to trade like this and you want to learn how to trade like this and spot these kind of ranges before anyone else, because that's the key to a range, is spotting it before anyone else spots it, is first and foremost, come over to our website. Our link's down in the description below. Okay, on here, get access to our free Discord. You can learn a lot in our free Discord. Obviously, if you want to take your trading to the next level, then come check out our TA course. Okay, within this TA course, we've got over 100 hours of educational video content. Here's a little breakdown on the website, on the video library page. A little breakdown of all the content that we've got, and we've got more to it. Tonight, we start our strategies modules. So we're actually going to be going through individual strategies that have full stats, full detailed breakdowns from my own stats. So yeah, we'll be starting that tonight. So these will be short and sweet streams, basically giving you strats and how they work, entry, validation, take profits. And all this will cost you the grand old price of $59.95 Great British Pounds. Or if you're working in dollars, then that'll be roughly $75. Obviously, if you do want to pay with crypto, that's absolutely fine. You need to come into our free Discord and then drop me a DM and you get access. So yeah, over 100 hours content for the grand old price of 60 Great British Pounds. Okay. Right, that'll do. Obviously, if you've learned something today, hit that like button. And obviously, if you do want to see an altcoin next week, then let us know down in the comments what altcoin you want covering. Okay? That'll do. As you were, guys. Bye-bye.